Below the Crescent Moon, written by Samantha Abbott, narrated by 11 Labs Studio. Chapter 2. I have no sense of direction as I take off, past the path and into the trees. My heart pounds as fast as my feet carry me, dodging trees, bushes, logs, rocks, and everything in between. I hear it gaining on me. Pushing my legs to move faster, they scream in protest. I can feel the wolf's hot breath as it snaps, just grazing my calf. Ah! I push my legs faster, my lungs burning. Run faster. Run faster. Sliding under a half-down tree like a baseball player to home base, I feel the wolf's jaws just graze my hair. Good Lord, that could have been my neck. Without missing a beat, I'm back on my feet and running. Making a quick jet to the left, I bounce off the side of a giant rock, hitting a tree with my other foot. I land and keep going, hearing wood smash behind me. I know it's hot on my tail, but I don't dare look back. With another spin to the right, I leap off a fallen tree as I glide through the air. My leg stretches, ready to bounce off another tree trunk when I feel it. Hot, piercing pain hits my left thigh. The world's spinning as I feel myself free-falling. Before I can register anything else, I'm engulfed in water. Spinning upside down and sideways. I feel the flesh being torn from my thigh as the wolf's mouth rips off. I scream, accidentally inhaling a lungful of water. I try to swim, but my thigh and leg screams in protest. My lungs burn from the water and lack of oxygen. Around and around and around, I flip when my back slams into something hard. Forcing the water out of my lungs, I break the surface. Coughing and gasping for air, I'm pulled under again. Tossing and turning. I break the surface once more and try my best to catch another breath. Flinging my arms in every direction, I try to grasp onto anything. My hands scrape along sharp rocks, cutting into my palms. I scream but manage to grab a hold of some stone. Pulling with all my strength, I get some of the rock under my chest. Coughing up more water, I try to breathe, but my lungs burn so bad. I blink rapidly as tears stream down my face. I look to my left and then right, but it's too blurry. I struggle to pull myself further onto the rock when a blood-chilling howl echoes. I freeze. It's not far from me. Panicked, I look around, trying to locate the wolf. A sob works its way up my throat, though it sounds more like a squeak as the pain in my thigh shoots down my leg. Even if I get to shore, there's no way I can outrun it now. Still, I try pulling myself further onto the rock, only to slide back down. What do I do? My adrenaline is wearing off, replaced with fear and pain. I can feel my grip slipping as my vision starts to wave. No, stay awake. I will myself. But more pain slices through my thigh, and now into my abdomen. I blink, trying to clear my vision, but the pain is so intense it's making everything spotty. Stay awake. Stay focused. I blink again. Stay awake. Stay awake. My hands are slipping. Stay awake. I feel the pull of the water sliding me off the rock. Stay away. Another howl rips through the air, but it sounds so far away, then everything goes dark. What is that sound? Oh, my head. I feel my lungs fill with air. I inhale again. I'm breathing. What is that noise? Is it my alarm? Thank God it was only a nightmare. I will my eyes open. The light is so bright I instantly shut them. I try again. Blinking rapidly, I try to get them to adjust. Once my eyes finally focus, I narrow in on the sound. A digital screen is blinking with all sorts of numbers and waves. My heart thuds and another beep. I look around. This isn't my room. To my left, I see a set of windows. The blinds are pulled closed, but it doesn't do much to keep the light out. Turning to the right, I see 3 sets of doors. Scanning the room further, I notice there are some cabinets, a whiteboard with some writing on it, but I can't read what it says. And a flat-screen TV is hanging on the wall. Groaning, I close my eyes. I feel exhausted. How did I get here? Where is here? The last thing I can remember is leaving the house. I try to focus, but my thoughts are fuzzy. After a few minutes, it slowly starts to come back. I went for a run. Yes, but what happened? The wolf, the water, the pain. My chest tightens. I can't breathe. Oh my God, I'm going to drown? I thrash as panic fills every bone in my body. The door flies open and 2 women rush in, followed by a taller gentleman in a white coat. Please, I scream. Don't let it get me. I don't want to die. Please, no. I can't control my limbs as I kick and scream. It's okay, honey, one of the women says, grabbing my hand. No, I yell hysterical.
Laura, we need to give her a dose to calm her down.
The taller gentleman in the white coat says, Yes, doctor, she says, running around the bed and administering something in an IV bag, as the other continues to hold my hand. Don't worry, honey, it's all going to be fine. My thrashing slows as my limbs feel heavy and my breathing levels out. Everything's starting to get dark. Please, I beg, I don't know where I am. My eyes feel so heavy. Don't worry, we will explain everything. I hear in the distance, and it all goes black. God, there's that noise again. I force my eyes open and focus on the digital screen. I hate that thing. Looking to my left, I notice it's dark. The blinds have no light coming in, so it must be. Slowly, I lift my head, but the room spins. So I lay back down, taking a deep breath. Once the spinning stops, I scoot up. Finding the head raise button, I push it until I get into a semi-sitting position. Where am I? I mean, it's obvious I'm in the hospital, but what hospital? Looking down, I frown as I see the IV in my arm. I hate needles. I mean, who does like them, but I hate them. A tap on the door pulls my attention away as it cracks open. A nurse pops her head in and smiles as she sees me. Oh, good. You're awake, she says as she steps into the room. I recognize her. She was the one holding my hand earlier. Hi, I manage, but my throat is so dry. Would you like some water, dear? She asks, smiling. I nod. Walking from the room, she returns with a cup and straw. Here you go, she says, handing it to me. I take it gladly with a long sip. Shutting my eyes, I lean my head back as it washes down my throat. After a few moments, I open my eyes, seeing she is checking my machine and IV bag. She is really pretty, slender, and about as tall as me. Her dark hair is pulled up in a high bun. I can tell she is older by the slight wrinkles near her eyes. Where am I? I croak. You're at the Pack Hospital, she says, smiling. I frown. The what? Her smile falters. The Pack Hospital. In Lunar Moon? I shake my head, confused. Oh, honey, don't worry. We don't mind taking care of you. She trails off, watching my expression. Who could blame her, though? I was looking at her like she was crazy. I'm sorry, I say, shaking my head, but I've never heard of a place called the Pack Hospital, and what is, or rather, where is Lunar Moon? Reaching over, she gives my hand a light squeeze. Don't worry, we will get this all straightened out. You were in pretty rough shape when you came in, but the doctor will be in and explain it all to you, I promise. Now, she says, smiling. Are you hungry? As if on cue, my stomach growls. I will take that as a yes, she laughs. How about some pudding? All I could do was nod, as she walks out the door, closing it softly behind her. Okay, that was weird. Putting my face in my hands, I'm so confused. What the hell is going on? Wait, my hands. Looking at them, I expect to see bandages or stitches, but turning them over a few times, I'm surprised to find nothing. My eyes widen. How long have I been here? Where is here? Wait, what about? I slowly pull the blanket down my left side and lift the hospital gown. A long scar runs across my hip and thigh. Teeth marks are visible where the wolf had taken a bite. My fingers trace the scar and I shiver at the memory. How long have I been here? This looks like it has been healed for months, years even. It didn't even hurt.
That scar will make a nice story.
Squeaking, I nearly jump off the bed as I scramble to cover my leg. I look up, my eyes widen at the man standing just in the doorway.
Sorry.
He says, leaning against the door frame with his arms across his chest, making his muscles pop. I don't think I have ever seen a guy that tall. He has to be around 6 foot with big, broad shoulders. His bright hazel eyes stand out from his shorter brown hair. That looks as if he'd combed it back with his hand countless times. I swallow hard. Who is this man and why was he in my room? He can't be my doctor. He wasn't even dressed like one, with his tight jeans and black t-shirt. My nurse comes back holding my pudding and a spoon. Excuse me, she smiles. Walking around him, she pulls over the bedside tray and places it in front of me, as I just stare at the giant that's hovering in the doorway. Now, eat this and, she says, glancing behind her, and don't be afraid of him. He's just here to ask a few questions. I take it he's not my doctor, I say, glancing between them. No, she chuckles, fluffing my pillow. Is he a cop or something? I whisper. He is investigating your case and needs to talk with you about what happened. But if you need me, just hit the call button on the bed there, she says, pointing, and with that, she walks out, closing the door. The tall man makes his way further into the room, not taking his eyes off me.
Okay, so where are you from?
He asks, taking a seat in the chair by the window. I can't find my voice. His eyes soften.
Do you remember where you're from?
Yes, I managed to squeak.
And that would be
I'm from River's Crest,
on the other side of the mountain?
he asks, narrowing his eyes. Mountain? What mountain? I still have no idea where I am, who this man is, or what is really going on. Yes, I say, mimicking him. I don't know why, but I find this man intimidating. I mean, yeah, he is taller and buffer than anyone I've ever met, but it's something else. Something about him. I can't put my finger on it, but it screams, don't lie to me. Straightening, I try to pull myself together. I mean, I was about killed by a wild animal, and that was a first for me. So I think I could cut myself some slack. He isn't the first arrogant guy I've met, so tilting my chin higher, I clear my throat. Is there something wrong with where I come from? He must have found it amusing because his lips pulled up at the corners slightly.
Not in the least. However, you are a long way from River's Crest. Do you know where you are?
I furrow my brows. My nurse said I am in, Lunar Moon. I believe that is what she called it.
Yes. And do you know how you got here?
Well, I knew how I'd ended up in the hospital. I couldn't recall exactly how I got here, so I shook my head. I know the events that led up to me getting here, but as far as how I actually got here, I'm not sure.
Do you know where here is?
He asks, leaning forward in his chair. The other side of the mountain, I say, blinking. Didn't he just ask me that question?
Yes, but I am sure you only know that because I told you.
Maybe it's just the lack of food or the traumatic event that led me to be here, or the repeated questions, but I suddenly become really irritated. What was with these questions anyway? And after the entire ordeal I have been through, I was almost murdered by a wild animal and about drowned. Why was I being interrogated like some kind of criminal? I feel anger building in my chest, building into my throat, and a growl rips out from between my lips. My hand immediately flies to my mouth, my face reddening. His lips twitch. I thought I would die from embarrassment. Did I seriously just growl at the man?
You've got some fight in you.
He says, looking lost in thought for a moment.
I think you will make a great addition to the pack.
Pack? I slowly remove my hand from my mouth. Okay, what the hell is going on? I have no idea where I am, and what do you mean by pack? And why the hell are you laughing? I shout as his grin is getting bigger and bigger. Moving the tray, I push up onto my knees. I can feel rage building in my chest. Though he doesn't seem the least bit intimidated, and that's only adding fuel to the fire.
I apologize.
He says, raising his hands.
I haven't introduced myself properly, and you are obviously unaware of what's happened to you over the past week.
My anger deflates. Week? I have been here for a week. My thoughts start to race. Wait, if it's only been a week, why are the cuts healed on my hands? How is the bite mark only a scar? Not seeming to notice my inner turmoil. He reaches over, taking my pudding from the tray.
Please eat while I explain.
Glaring at him for a few moments, I sit back down, and he places my now open pudding back on my tray. We stare at each other for a few more minutes, but eventually, my hunger wins the battle, and I slowly start to eat.
First, my name is Tanner Cole. And you are?
My name is Emily Caldwell, but my friends call me Em, I reply while taking another bite. He nods.
It's nice to meet you, Em. Now, what do you remember? And I will try my best to fill in the gaps.
I think about it while getting into my pudding. I hadn't realized how hungry I was. After scraping the last bit into my mouth, I answer. I went for a run, but I went off the normal path I take, and I was attacked by a wolf. Shuddering at the memory, I continue. I don't remember how I got here, but I know I fell into a river or rapids or whatever you call it, and that's about all I can remember.
And you also got bit on the thigh.
He says, pointing to my left side. I nod. Sighing, Tanner looks toward the darkened window.
Well, you were found by a hunting party washed up on the shore about 6 miles south from here.
He looks back at me.
You were in pretty rough shape when they found you. Cut up black and blue, running an extremely high fever. The chunk missing from your thigh, you could tell it was a wolf based on the bite mark. Was it just one wolf?
Yes, it was. One enormous wolf, I say, wrapping my arms around myself. We are silent for a minute as I rack my brain with unanswered questions. Look, I am sorry, but I'm really confused here. Are you some sort of ranger? Or like a wildlife expert or something?
I guess you could look at it like that.
He says, standing and pacing. Watching him closely, my confusion only grows. Something tells me whatever he is about to say isn't good. But then again, how bad could it be? I'm already in the hospital.
This is kind of a hard thing to explain. You see, the wolf that bit you was infected.
Infected? Infected with what? Rabies or something? I ask, my face going pale. He stops pacing, taking in my appearance before he continues.
Not rabies per se, but it is an infection that cannot be cured.
Okay, so maybe it is bad. I feel like I'm going to be sick. What was he trying to tell me? Am I going to die? As if he could read my mind, he answers my question.
You aren't going to die.
Oh, thank God. Taking a deep breath, I relax a little.
But
My heart sinks.
you cannot leave. At least, not for a while. We won't force you to stay, not forever. But until you fully understand the position you're in, you cannot go back home.
Wait, what? I wouldn't say I'm just confused by his comment. No, a wide range of emotions run through me. Scared, angry, and dizzy all at the same time.
Look,
He runs his hand over his face.
I understand that this is a lot to take in, but it's for your safety and that of others.
I stare at him as I try to wrap my head around what's happening. I was supposed to be in Bayshore right now, getting set up for college classes. I mumble as my vision blurs. This can't be happening. This isn't how this was supposed to happen. Then it dawns on me. Dad, oh my God. My dad and friends don't even know what happened to me. Do they?
Until you fully understand what's happened to you, it's best if you don't tell your friends and family.
This got my full attention. You don't want my family to know where I am? Why? My heart kicks into overdrive. I'm going to hyperventilate. Why wouldn't I be able to tell anyone where I am? Oh my God. This was a cult. That's why he said I'd make a great addition to the pack. They were going to try to keep me here forever. This guy, whose real name probably isn't even Tanner, is making up some crazy story about an infected wolf. So I don't run. I'm going to end up on an episode of Disappeared,
Deep breaths, Em.
he says, trying to soothe me. Taking my hand in his larger one, I hadn't noticed at first, but I'm shaking.
It's not that we want you to cut yourself off from your family. It's just that it will be safer for them if they don't try to come here with the condition you're in. It won't be safe for them.
His eyes hold a firm but sad look. Shaking my head, every episode of Unsolved Mysteries is playing through my mind. I won't let this happen. I will not be a victim, I yell, yanking my hand from his and jump from the bed. I will not be held as a prisoner. My body's shaking so hard my teeth are chattering. Tanner takes a step back, his eyes wide.
Em,
He says, reaching towards me. Don't, I scream. Don't call me M. We are not friends. I don't even know you. My whole body vibrates, and a tingling feeling runs over my skin from head to toe.
okay,
He shouts, holding up his hands.
You're right. Just try to calm down.
Stepping back, he lowers his voice.
This is what I was trying to explain. That bite has infected you. It can cause you to act irrationally and lash out. You could hurt those around you.
Irrationally. How else am I supposed to act? Though his words make some sense. I've never felt this angry before, like I want to jump out of my skin. Still, I feel like my reaction isn't irrational. I've basically been fucking kidnapped. I take a deep breath and try to make sense of what he was saying, but it just doesn't make sense. No, he is a liar. If I am that sick, my dad needs to know. Rena needs to know. They have to know where I am and come get me. I close my eyes. My head is pounding so hard I feel like the room is buzzing.
Emily,
I hear Tanner speaking softly. I open my eyes and glare at him.
I know this is confusing.
He steps towards me, but stops as I step back.
Just look in the mirror to your right, and you'll see that what I am speaking is the truth.
Look in the mirror? Why? So he can attack me while I'm distracted?
I won't move.
He holds his hands up.
You have my word. Just look.
Slowly, I turn my body to the right, but I don't take my eyes off Tanner, if that is his real name. He doesn't move, and after a few minutes, I turn my head and reluctantly take my eyes off him. My hair's a mess, my body flushed, nostrils flaring. But that's not what's caught my attention. It's my eyes. They are wild, almost glowing a bright violet. My anger's replaced by shock, and with it my eyes dim, slowly fading back to their natural shade of green. Stifling a sob, I cover my mouth. Tanner takes a slow step toward me, but I hold up my other hand, as if to say, keep away, and he stops. Something is wrong with me. He wasn't lying. I stumble over my words.
No.
He shakes his head.
It's okay, your reaction is normal.
Normal. This is not normal. Wait, has this happened to someone else?
There is a lot more to what's happened to you, and it'll all be explained. But do you understand now why you can't leave? All that anger you were feeling, you couldn't control it. You could hurt someone.
My eyes sting with the built-up tears as I try to make sense of what he's saying. I could have hurt you?
No, I have enough experience with this. You wouldn't have been able to, but around people that don't understand what's happened to you, they will die.
That's my breaking point. All the feelings from everything hit me at once, and before I knew what was happening, I'm falling. But I didn't hit the floor. Tanner's right there, scooping me up like I weigh nothing and lightly places me on the bed.
It will be just fine, Emily. I promise.
I hear him say before I'm unconscious.
I was running through the night, chasing echoes in my mind. Didn't see the golden eyes hiding deep inside the pines. Flames like fire, shadows whispering my name. One bite, one curse, nothing will ever be the same.